Today's project is really simple and really inexpensive. I'll show you how to make this cute little working umbrella so the dolls in your dollhouse can keep the rain off their head. Alright, first let's talk about what we need. We need one of these little cocktail umbrellas, and you can get these, they come in, drinks. My kids have gotten them a lot of times in the kid drinks at decent restaurants, and they open and close. You can get them at party supply stores, you can get them at Dollar Tree. A lot of times I've gotten these at Dollar Tree. So you need one of those, and you'll have to pick through them because a lot of times they're broken. You'll need a bead that's small enough that it won't be too big to go in doll's hand to look realistic. So I've got Mrs. Doll here. And these are all about the size of a hand, so they'll be okay. We're going to use her a couple of times to size things. We need some glue. I'm going to use Zap-A-Gap. I may or may not need tacky glue. I haven't. Sometimes I use tacky glue, sometimes I don't. Need some scissors. We'll need something to cut the toothpick part here off, either wire cutters or easy cutter or whatever you'd use to cut thin wood. And you also need something to make your umbrella out of. I'm using just the party tablecloth that you get at Dollar Tree. This one happens to be black. I've got different colors. Couldn't find the others today. But for $1 you get a huge piece of plastic, and these are really useful to use for a lot of things. You also need some paint. I'm using a silver spray paint today to paint our base. So let me get everything else out of the way and I'll show you how we start. Alright, our first step is to very carefully, and you'll have to be careful because these do break. You need to peel this paper off of your umbrella. And some of these you barely touch it and the paper just pops off. Sometimes it helps to actually overextend them. And sometimes the paper is like this one, the paper's on pretty firmly. Be careful because these are just made out of cardboard, these little spokes on the umbrella. And you need to be careful so you don't break them. I've broken so many of these over the years making these umbrellas. Now you can also, there's lots of directions out there for making like a fancy parasol. You can do that with these too, but these are more like a modern umbrella like somebody would carry now. So that's what we're going to make today. See, it's not really difficult. And we need to get as much of this paper off as we can. I try not to leave paper on because the paper will show, although we will paint. Our next step is to paint this, so we can cover up a little bit of paper, but you don't want very much on there. I'll pull it down. To get as much of that off as we can. We did pretty good. I didn't break the little cardboard pieces, so. So I'll pick off the rest of this paper, and then I'm going to spray paint my umbrella, and then I'll be back when that's dry. So this is now all painted, and I moved it up and down a little bit so that it would not stick. I've cut the whole thing. I cut the whole toothpick that it's on because I'll cut this off later to length, but I'm going to work with the whole thing. I've taken a little square of this plastic, and you can either use a pattern, you could use a saucer or something. I find that about 3 3/4 of an inch is approximately right, so I'm just going to cut it that way and trim it up when it's all done. Make sure it's big enough. Yeah. I just want it oversized. It doesn't have to be perfect at this point because it's just going to be, we can trim it. It's glued on. Now we need to cut a little hole in the middle of this. So I've got to fold it back in quarters. Just enough so it will go down over this. And that was almost too much. I should have went just a little bit less, but that'll be okay. So we've got that on there. So let's go ahead and get started gluing. Alright, now it's time to start gluing. I've got my Zap-A-Gap open. It's a really old bottle of Zap-A-Gap. It's getting really messy. So I want to go down. Come on. There we go. And I just put a little bead down each of these. And you'll probably have to go back after it's all glued together. You'll probably go back and spot glue underneath. But I've worked on these a couple of times and I find this is really the easiest way to get them stuck all the way. Just try not to drip glue down on your plastic though. Okay. I like to pull it up all the way, watching that you don't get your fingers in the glue. Oh, I had two. This plastic is so thin. It's not the first time I've done that. Okay, now this glue, whoops, it came off. Now I just need to let this dry, and when it's all dry, then I can do some trimming. So our glue is dry, so now I'm going to go through and just kind of cut this, kind of even it up as I go. There. Now we have a working umbrella. So let's get it cut to length and put a handle on it. The easiest way to cut to length is to put it next to your doll, and I think I want this one to come right about there. So I'll mark it with my thumb. It doesn't have to be exact. This isn't. This project is not something that needs to be exact. You can make it as exact or as free-form as you want to. I did kind of miss that though. It looks like all of my top is glued on, so all I have to do now is pick a handle. Got this one. That one's a little big. Didn't have exactly. I used to have these really neat beads that I really, really liked for this, and I ran out and I can't get them again. So I think I'm going to have to sand down my handle. So let me go get some sandpaper and I'll sand this down. It's all whittled down now. That'll fit. So let's get some glue on there. And then Mrs. Doll can go for a walk in the rain after this handle dries. Right, now our glue will need to dry, and then we'll see how this looks when it's all dry and completed. Alright, so it's that easy to make a little working umbrella for your dolls. You can vary the color of spray paint, you can vary the color of the bead, and of course you can vary the color of the plastic that you cover it with. It'd be really cool to make a whole bunch of these to put into a little shop or something. So have fun with your minis, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.